One other thing that the CMA program allows you to do is create a background for your CMA. It's probably not going to make any money, but it's, cost you money if you're going to print it. But it gives your CMA a little extra flair that somebody else doesn't have. If I print this on a white piece of paper, it's going to look just like that with a white background. But maybe I want to add something to it. Maybe I want to add some cool stationery to it. To do that, I go to this little painter's palette that you see right up here. Click on that little painter's palette, and I've got a selection of stationery that I can use. Notice none is selected right now. I've got different abstracts. I've got, flowers. I've got simple borders I can put around there. I've got sunsets and gardens. I've even got, some really cool mountains that I can put behind there. So I'll click the mountains, and I'll say I only want to apply that to this page because I only want it to be on my cover page, because if I'm going to print this out, I don't want to have to print out that mountain stationery on 31 pages. That's where it'll cost you some money. Now, if you email it or create a PDF and send it, it doesn't make any difference. But in this context, let's say we're going to print it. So we're just going to apply that stationery to the cover page here. And boom, if you look at the cover page now, across the top and the bottom, now you've got some really cool mountains on there. So when you print that out, it makes your CMA title page stand out a little bit more than the person that didn't do that. Again, that's an option for you. Again, painter's palette right there. Pick your stationery. Again, if you email it or save it as a PDF, it doesn't make any difference if you apply the stationery on all pages. It's not costing you anything. If you're going to print it out, probably just going to print it out on the first page. Make life easy. Where does the CMA live now that I've created it? Under my reports section, under my CMA manager. I go to my CMA manager, and you'll now see that the CMA that I just created is here. It was created as of today. It will purge in 1 year from the current day. So if I don't do anything with this for 1 year, it will drop off on March 21st of 2012. If I go back in and I modify this or change it, say next week, the purge date will also concurrently go up one more date also. If I need to make any changes to the CMA, all I have to do is select it, go to Open, and it will open up my CMA Wizard, and I can go back to any step that I want to and make any changes. If I want to copy the CMA and give it a different name, I can do that. If I need to delete that CMA, I can select it, and I can click the Delete button from here if I want to. Notice there's also the New CMA button here. That New CMA button and this New CMA button are the exact same thing. Remember, it's easier to do the search first. Pick your comps, choose the Action button on the bottom of the screen of your search results, and incorporate those onto your CMA. So that's just my little word of wisdom for you on that particular facet of doing a CMA. One other thing that I want to touch on very briefly is the CMA presentation library. When we created the CMA, remember we told you we gave you just a standard set of reports that were kind of more than what you needed. Well, you may find after time that you get sick of, adding those reports and removing them each and every time you create a CMA. So what you can do is you can go to New CMA Presentation, you can choose the property type, and you can pick the reports that you normally want to use traditionally in your CMA. So if you want to use a cover letter, fine, there's your cover letter right there. Maybe you want to use an office profile that you created for yourself. That's fine. Maybe you like certain reports in a certain order. You can go through and kind of do this ahead of time if you want to, and give it a unique name, like the presentation name saying Jay's Custom CMA or Jay's 5-page quick CMA or something like that. And then as you create your CMAs, you can incorporate this binder into your CMA, and it will always apply the reports that you want instead of you having to go back in and add or delete the reports each and every time. Now, if you just create a CMA every now and then, probably not worth doing this. But, if you're going to create a lot of CMAs, it's a lot easier when you get to step number 7 of your CMA package, and I'll get to that point as soon as it loads up here in just a minute. When you get to step number 7, it's a lot easier to just pick one of your custom presentations, and it will only load up the pages that you picked versus the default presentations that we have picked for you. So again, just another option that you have. Under the help screens, again, we have created some tutorials for you on this. If you go to the help screen and click on the online training, you will notice we've got some additional videos here for the Tempo 5 product. There's the report editor workshop. There's the documentation that goes along with it. We also have a CMA workshop that you can watch that basically goes and reviews what we have done today in the session. This particular webinar, and these are generic, by the way, these will use a generic Tempo site, so it won't exactly be your information, but the way that you do it is exactly the same. This particular webinar will be recorded. It will be archived under the archived T5 webinar section over on the left-hand side of PikesPeakRealtorRSC.com under Conversion Headquarters. So you can watch this one again if you want to, or of course you're more than welcome to sign up for another one if you want to see the whole presentation again. It pretty much is the same thing. I may change one or two things, but in essence it's the same thing going forward. So we'll archive it for you. We'll also offer some live CMAs going forward for you also. We hope you've enjoyed the new CMA program that's coming to you in Tempo 5 very shortly. Again, it's a wizard. Think about it as a puzzle. You provide the pieces of the puzzle of the wizard, you plug them all in, and when you're done, you arrange it the way you want to, with the reports you want, customize it in the way you want to, and then you have a really nice presentation that you can give to your clients. And it looks very professional. So again, hardest part is doing your comp search. Make sure you do that properly, and the rest of the CMA is a breeze. I did not see any questions come up during the course of the session today, which means one of two things. Either everyone's asleep, or not paying attention, or you understood everything clearly. So I'm just going to give it a minute yet. If you happen to have a question, go to your question pane and type in a question if you'd like to ask me something today. If not, you can of course always call the folks at RSC, the tech support folks, and they can also answer any questions for you that you have concerning the CMA or any other facet of the new Tempo 5 system that's coming to you very shortly. So we'll go with questions going once, questions going twice, and no questions. Thanks for your time today. Look for the archived webinar to be up in just a few days on the Conversion Headquarters site. Thanks for joining us today. Have yourself a great rest of the morning and a great day.